Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I want to give a double honor to the elders and the apostles who rule well and also teach well. And the salutations to the Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Yasharala, coming out of the GMS Lions Den camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'll be coming out with a small little lesson coming out of Mark chapter 7. And the title would be basically what defiles a man. You know, a lot of people think when, you know, certain things, certain actions you do defile you, but according to the scriptures, it's what comes from within that defiles you. That's what defiles a man, coming from within. Let's say an example: you can eat dirt, but that don't make you defiled because you ate that dirt. You just a dirt eater. I mean, you know, from a topical standpoint, from just a physical standpoint, you're just a dirt eater. But what defiles you really comes from within out. That's what defiles you. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. This is chapter 7 of Mark, verse 1. Then came together unto him Pharisees and certain of the scribes which came from Jerusalem. They're just saying these scribes and these Pharisees came unto Yahweh Shai, and they came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defile, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. You know, they came up to Yahweh Shai and they seen his disciples eating and everything, and they was just like, and they saw the brothers eat without washing their hands. You know, they found fault. You know how our people is, man. It's just, oh, you gonna eat without washing your hands? Basically, that's basically what that was. Verse 3. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands, oft eat not, holding the traditions of men. See, the Pharisees and all the Jews, they was like, you know, they don't eat or they wouldn't do nothing, you know what I'm saying, except they wash their hands, you know, holding the tradition of the elders, basically walking in the law, statutes, commandments of man, pretty much. Anyways, verse 4. And when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not. See, when they come from the marketplace, when they come from the places of, you know what I'm saying, from abroad, they wouldn't eat except they wash their hands. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold. See, you know, whatever it is, they wouldn't touch it or wouldn't do nothing unless they washed their hands first. They was considering that being clean. Anyways, and many other things there be which they have received to hold, as washing of cups and pots, brazen vessels and of tables. You know, that's what they think. That's what they think. They wash the cups and the pots and the brazen vessels and all that different stuff because they was considering that clean. They wasn't touching nothing unless they washed their hands. So they was looking at that as, oh, I'm clean when I wash my hands and I'm not defiled. So, you know, that's how people who don't have an understanding of the law, and these scribes and these Pharisees, they didn't have an understanding of the law because they was thinking that you had to wash your hands and all this other stuff in order to be clean. But verse 5. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, these scribes and these Pharisees asked Yahweh Shai, why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands? They were basically asking Yahweh Shai, well, why you ain't following in the commandments and the tradition of men? Why you ain't teaching your disciples to follow the commandments of man? Plainly stated. But Yahweh Shai, he answered them back in verse 6. He answered and said unto them, and he cut them too. Well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. See, there it is right there. Yahweh Shai, he cut them. He was like, Isaiah prophesied. The prophet Isaiah, he prophesied of you hypocrites. He was calling them hypocrites. Yahweh Shai was calling these scribes and these Pharisees hypocrites. Because, you know, a hypocrite will say one thing, but they'll do another. But basically, he was saying, this people honor me. See, they was honoring Yahweh Shai and the Father with their lips, but their heart, their mind was far from the Father and the Son, far from it. Verse 7, howbeit in vain do they worship me. See, they worship Yahweh Shai and the Father in vain, for teaching doctrines teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. See, they were teaching doctrines and they was following the commandments of men. Verse 8, for laying aside the commandment of the Most High. They was laying aside the commandments of the Most High so they could follow in their own way. But let's keep reading. Ye hold the traditions of men as the washing of pots and cups, and many such like things ye do. See, they held the traditions of men. These scribes and these Pharisees was holding the traditions of men, such as the washing of pots and cups and many other things. Washing your hands before you eat, and different things like that. That's what they did. And he said unto them, verse 9, full well ye reject the commandment of the Most High, that ye may keep your own traditions. See, they full well, meaning they would rather keep the commandments of man rather than keep the commandments of the Most High. See, they rejected the commandments of the Most High so they could keep the traditions of men. So they could go in their own ways and their own traditions. Just like a lot of our people do in this day and age. They reject the commandments, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, the Father, so they could go in their own ways, celebrating these pagan holidays, eating unclean foods, just different things. Just a few examples. Verse 10. For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death. So what Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, because the law of Moses. Yes, and you still must honor your father and your mother. Respect them. Show your father and your mother respect, spiritually and physically. And it says, whoso curseth father or mother, let him die. I mean, if you curse your father and your mother, let him die the death. Meaning the more let you die. That's basically what it was saying. But ye say, if a man shall say to his father, it is Corban. Corban means it is a gift. That is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, by the Father, by the Son, he shall be free. So they were basically saying, like, you know, if it's a gift and the Lord, you will be free, you good. Just to give you a gist of what's going on. Verse 12, and it says, and ye suffer him no more to do aught for his father or his mother. Meaning you don't allow him to do for his father and his mother, and you suffer, meaning you don't allow it. Verse 13, making the word of the Most High of none effect through your tradition. See, you make the people was making, these scribes and these Pharisees going according to their own tradition, you know, they were making the law, you know, verse 13 says, making the word of the Most High non-effect through your tradition. See, when you follow the law, statutes, commandments of man, you make the Most High's words non-effect through the traditions of men, which ye have delivered, and many such like things do ye. So basically, Yahweh was like, look, you go your own way. You think when something happened, it is, since, you know, it is a profit, and if you say it is profited by me, the people shall be free, and just various things, you know, and going according to the traditions of men and the commandments of men, you make the words and the laws of the Most High non-effect through the traditions, through those traditions of men. The Most High's laws and statutes and commandments are non-effect. And, you know, many such like things our people do. That's just what it is, and that's how these scribes and these Pharisees was doing as well. Verse 14, and when he called all the people unto him, he said unto them, hearken ye, hearken